Shortcuts episode 6 released today, and in honor of that, I'm going to do a rapid fire recap of episodes 1 through 5 so that you can hop into the story right at the end. In episode 1, A Solitary Pursuit, we meet our main character, Wells, a bear shifter running a butcher shop solo in the suburbs. We find him the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, and he is thinking he's going to have a chill day. Little did he know that his relaxing Wednesday was going to turn hectic. His shop is overrun with a rush of both supernatural and human clientele. And because he runs it solo, he has to jump back and forth between butchering the meat and dealing with the clients. During the rush, a box shifter enters, kind of sneaking in the back there, and she offers herself up as a potential employee. But despite the rush, Wells feels like he doesn't need to hire anyone. He can barely afford to keep the shop open on his own, and he thinks that hiring someone is going to break the bank. Plus, he thinks this is all a fluke. But little did he know, a social media influencer was one of the customers he ended up servicing that day, which brings us to episode number 2. In episode 2, Sensational, we find ourselves with Wells a week later. He has spent the past week dealing with Keith Lee levels of customers coming into his shop. He's had to call for backup with his mother, who has been a great helping hand, but she has her own business and can't keep coming. He finally decides he does need to hire someone to get through both his viral rush and his normal holiday seasonal clients. And thus the interviews begin. Because the shop services supernatural clients and supernatural world is secret in this story, he only opens the job up to other supernatural creatures. So we get a nice little kind of display of some of the different supernaturals you can expect in this series. But during one of the interviews, the viral rush pops up again. His mom was overrun and she is desperate for help. And so Wells jumps in. He's not leaving his mother stranded. While doing this, Kit shows up for her interview and hops right in and helps so that Wells can go process the orders while his mom runs the register and she helps out around the store. By the end, Wells realizes that he already has his new employee, so Kit gets the job. In episode 3, Something Witchy This Way Comes, we find Wells a day or two after the last one where he hired Kit, but she has not started yet. So Wells is on his own. This story starts right before close, and he gets a rap on the door right before he opens. There he finds a young witch named Tilly who is in need of a very unusual ingredient. She wants to avoid causing a stir with the arcane supplier, so she goes to Wells to see if she can find something to replace a once-in-a-lifetime ingredient. You'll have to read to find out what it is. Wells then has to go through his inventory and find something that can meet her needs. And spoiler alert, he does. In gratitude, the witchy baker gives him a chocolate peppermint cruffin, which he gobbles up and enjoys. He also offers the young business owner an opportunity to sell some of her baked goods on his shelves in the shop come the new year. Later that episode, the social media influencer returns and he gets to kind of get her back for the kind of trouble that she's caused him. And he gives her a very expensive cut of meat for her holiday feast, which unintentionally gives him a second rush of viral sensation. So it maybe wasn't the best move. In episode 4, A First Time for Everything, we finally get Kit there on her first day of work. Our grumpy control freak bear shifter is just all up in arms about having someone in his territory, in his space. And just about everything Kit does gets on his nerves. But to his credit, she does kind of overstep when it comes to taking an order that is an out-of-town delivery. Did I mention that they don't deliver? I mean, how is a one-man operation supposed to do that? Wells comes close to firing her, but decides to give her another chance, but she's going to have to deliver that on her own. At the end of this, we finally get to unlock a second location where we get to go to see a shifter bar downtown. The bar is run by a were-shifter named Wade and co-owned by a witch named Quinn. Wade is one of my favorite random side characters. After he has a drink and complains about his worries, his friends give him the reality check that he needs to continue with his working relationship with Kit. And finally, we get to episode 5, our big climax of the series. This episode is called Snowed In, and that's because they get snowed in to the butcher shop. This episode has so many good nuggets in it, but in the first part of the episode, we get to see someone from Kit's past that is trying to cause her a little bit of trouble at the shop. Wills has no idea what's going on, but he shows a little bit of compassion towards her and it's like, hey, if you ever need help, let me know. But as the day goes on and the temperature drops, they ignore all of the signs that they need to get out of town and come out from creating marinades and processing orders to find that a freak snowstorm has snowed them into the butcher shop. When the power goes out, they find themselves needing to work together to survive, even if that means snuggling up with your surprisingly beautiful coworker. By the end of the episode, their relationship shifts from being antagonistic to potential friends and a little bit of interest in each other. And that brings us to the finale, which is the episode that released today called The Wolf Moon Festival. I'm not going to tell you too much about this one because I want you to go in and be ready to see the amazingness that goes on in this episode. There's so much packed in there. We are getting the aftermath from the snowstorm and them kind of figuring out the relationship to jumping ahead towards the last day of Kit's temporary work position, where Wells needs to make the decision. Does he keep his work friend or does he go back to the way things were? You can now read Shortcuts in its entirety on the Ashley T Writes Substack. Bye!